first drill in our warm-up series is going to be a lying alternating arm drop. So the focal point here, both hands are up, knees are bent. That's just helping to keep our back a little flatter. We can slightly engage the abdomen. Arms are extended, palms facing each other. So we're dropping down with one arm and reaching a little bit away as we drop the other, reaching a little bit away. So the focal point is going to be stretching through tricep into the lats here. Maybe a little go down into the rib cage. Reach a little bit down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Come back to the top. Switch. Take a breath in. Exhale it out. Back up. So the tendency is going to be to go down and the elbow bends. So you have to make sure that you keep that elbow locked out so that you can benefit from the stretch. Because if you bend the elbow, you're not really going to hit this area. You're going to be hitting the ground, but you're not really getting the full stretch. So you might find that you only get down to here. An alternative move that you can do, or also try out to see if this area is tight, is that you go palms facing and do the same thing. And you'll see that that's going to slightly change the stretch. So if you're having a binding here in the top of the shoulder, what we're going to do is just going to go a little bit wider with your reach. So just go to the range that you can get to. Right? So that's the first drill. It's the alternating arm drops. The second drill is going to be wide to W. So your arms will show you front on so you can see. So your arms are going to be in this W pattern, pulling this shoulder a little bit away from the elbow, from the earlobe. And then we're going to go up into a wide. So wide and W like we do on the wall. So we're doing those on the floor, so it's floor slides. So the knees are bent, getting our back close to flat, just engaging the abdomen a little bit. There's still going to be a little gap there. So you can start in your wide position, reaching out, again extending the elbow fully. Reach out away. You possibly feel a stretch here in the deltoid on into the chest. Then we're going to pull down, pull those shoulders away from the ears. Squeeze back. You'll feel it engaging in between the shoulder blades. Then we're going to reach back out. So we can exhale it out. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale and reach. Next drill we're going to work on is called the fetal rotation. So we're going to lie down in the fetal position. So it's really important that your knees are just about even with your belly button and that your back is flat. So we don't want to curl into a ball here. We want to make sure our spine is neutral, so our head is in line with our shoulders, going down our spine to our tailbone. But then we have the knees curled so that they're just about even with the belly button. So we're kind of making a pad here with one side. So the angle that we're hitting is from our knees. We're going to match that angle as we go overhead, pulling our shoulder down towards the floor. So you'll feel your scapula retracting. You're moving the entire rib cage and shoulder, so it's not just the arm falling. So you're trying to rotate. I always tell people to look behind them in a car. So you look up to your thumb as you exhale it out. Hold as you exhale, about 5 seconds. We're going to contract the abdomen, push these knees into the floor, and then we're going to come back. So if you're having any shoulder issues, you can stay a little lower and just go kind of to a T instead of a Y position. Another variation to hit more into the rib cage area. So you're going to be stretching that chest deltoid. You're going to be activating on the back side. Working on thoracic rotation is you can reach a little bit higher up. So you can play around with that angle. If you got a sticking spot where it's really just you're getting hung up and it's not getting much of a stretch or you can't move any further, just pause there, take a deep breath in, and then exhale and let gravity act on it. It's a good idea to sometimes put like a half foam roller or a pad under your head here so that you don't bother your neck. I'm just supporting my head with my hand, but it's always good to have something under your head if you really want to get the most out of the move. So then you repeat on the other side, usually doing about 5 or 6 on each side. Next move we're going to do is going to be targeting the lats, going on down. You can feel this almost into the back, going into the tailbone. So we're going to go into a 4-point stance, stacking our shoulders. We're going to drop one elbow down. So we're on our forearm. We're going to keep this kind of neutral. So we're stacked on our hips. You're going to reach across your body, and then you start to sit back with your hips as you're reaching out. So we're creating as much length here as possible. If we want to intensify, we can kind of creep out to the side a little bit more. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. And then we'll pull back, and we can switch sides. An alternative move you could do is just like we did when we were lying. We had palm down, then we could also try going thumb up and see if that changes the stretch at all. So for the quad stretch, what we're going to do is we're stacking our joints, so our knee over our hip, kind of our torso stacked right over that. What we're going to do is get this out to about 90 or maybe a little bit past 90. I like to start at 90. Keep this toe curled under, that's important. We're going to push down into here by pushing down into our knee. That helps us to get a little bit of a drawing to engage our abdomen. And then as we drive forward, think of doing a hip bridge. So you're trying to engage this backside glute, like we were doing a bridge off of the ground. So you're pushing in to get a stretch in the quad and then on into the hip flexor. And then so we inhale, drive into the stretch, slowly exhale. So about 4 or 5 seconds, and then we're going to back off. So if we're not feeling much of a stretch, the first move you do is step forward a little bit, but also make sure you're getting a little bit of that tailbone tuck under by engaging the glute and getting the abdomen drawn in, and you get a good push down before you do that. Try to correct that first before you step out further. Further intensify, you just add the overhead reach with a little bit of a bend to the side and potentially a little bit backwards. So for the groin stretch, we're going to get into that same position as if we were stretching out the quad, and then we're just going to step off to the side. So imagine there's a wall or glass right here in front of you. You want to be directly out to the side as best you can, unless you're really tight in the groin or tight in the hip. We'd step out a little bit in front. So we're off to the side. Again, we're starting at about 90, and then we're stacking our joints here, making sure the belly button and the shoulders are all pointed forward. A little back pressure into the knee, and then we're going to drive forward. And you'll start to feel this into the groin area. Make sure that that knee lines up with the shoelaces. So we don't want to be driving forward and kind of twisting on our knee here. So we can go a little bit towards the pinky toe or right in line with the laces. And then if we want to get more of a groin stretch, we can step out further. If we want to target the ankle range of motion, we can step in closer. Keep that back pressure, get nice and tall. Inhale, drive into the stretch, then exhale for about 4 or 5 seconds, and you'll start to feel that on through here. We do not want to get a binding in the front of the shoe. If we are, we want to try to avoid that range. So we got our ankle here, stepping out further, we'll get the groin. So the Spider-Man stretch, everybody has done this at some point in time in here. What we're going to do is going to be a plank position, so a high plank position, or we're up on a box. We're just stepping 1 foot up, trying to get as close to our hand as possible. And then we'll drive that knee forward, lock out that back leg, stay nice and tall, trying to stay flat to our back. And then we can kind of push that knee out a little bit, or we can go forward a little bit. Take a deep breath in, exhale, reset. Then we're going to hit that other side. You can also try intensifying the stretch by dropping this knee down, or if you did need a break, that's going to probably hit a little bit more into the groin. Whereas if we get this locked down, drive forward, you're going to be focusing a little bit more into the hip flexor. But you're going to be feeling that in the groin, the glute, hip flexor. So you're getting a lot of different areas with that one stretch. Right? So we do that about 5 or 6 times with those slow breaths. You can stay in that position, or we could stand up and go hands onto the wall. And we would go into our calf stretch where we do lift the tailbone now. We're going to push that heel down to stretch out our calf. We just kind of hold for 1, 2, switch, hold for 1, 2, go up higher if we have to get to intensify the stretch.